We have had a special meeting this evening, which was pretty special. We'll talk about that later. We had a town meeting, which was quite lengthy, and we're now heading to a public hearing. Town of East Lyme Board of Selectmen notice a public hearing regarding an ordinance establishing a school building committee for elementary school projects. This has been done in the past with other school projects. We have a standing town building committee, and when we're doing school projects, it's sometimes wise to put a few Board of Ed members on there. So we have better communication, but also the will of the Board of Ed is communicated back out to the town building committee. So I will open up the public hearing and ask if there's anyone from the public who wishes to address the Board of Selectmen this evening. Did I summarize what the request was properly? Yeah, there you go.
Hi. Tim Hagan, Chair of the East Lyme Board of Education. Mark, you summarized it very well. Actually, the composition of the proposal for the building committee to oversee this very important building project, which is very complicated, involves all three schools over an 18-month period of construction. Discussions that several of us had formulating this, and it was actually discussed at the town building committee as well, saying that we should probably add a couple of Board of Ed members and have the superintendent on it. We definitely we need to have the principals there as well at those times when their perspective is needed, because there are three schools involved as well. So that was kind of the rationale behind it. So again, it is a very and we want to do our very, very best job, because it is going to be a complicated renovation project.
Thank you, Dr. Hagan. How long have you been the chair of the Board of Ed?
Almost too many years. I think 6 or 7.
That's an evasive answer. 6 or 7, probably 6.
No, you took over in 2009.
Is that right?
So 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah. Thank you. You're doing a great job, and this indeed is a big project. We didn't expect a lot of controversy or need for public comment tonight, but when we pass an ordinance, it's a requirement of our charter. So here we are. Seeing no other members of the public who wish to speak,
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
and it's been seconded. Any further comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We are now ready to start our regular meeting of June 21st, 2017 of the Board of Selectmen.
I'd like to make a motion to add an agenda item 1. 1F. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Just add it to 3C, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it'd be 3C.
3C. Move to add agenda item 3C to adopt the ordinance entitled Ordinance Establishing a School Building Committee for Alterations and Upgrades to the East Lyme Elementary Schools as submitted.
Second.
Okay, so we're adding an item to be voted on. It's been seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Terrific. Delegations, no one from the public tonight, and we drove them all out. Approval of the minutes of the special meeting of the Board of Selectmen, June 7th.
Move to approve the Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes of June 7th, 2017 as submitted.
Second.
Any corrections or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, the next one.
Move to approve the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes of June 7th, 2017 as submitted.
Second.
Second, any comments, corrections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Terrific. We have the smallest consent calendar that I can remember.
I know, this is... Move to approve the consent calendar for the meeting of June 21st, 2017 in the amount of $31.84.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? That has it, and there's no old business. So new business tonight. The good news is our agenda on this meeting is quite short, and it's discussion and possible action on instituting a smoking policy at the community center. And the next item is also the ADA service animals, and what it started as a community center, but really all town buildings. And it's just meant for a discussion. We control the policy of town buildings. While this request is coming from the Council on Aging, highlighting an issue that they have about the tobacco use near windows and doors, it is us, the Board of Selectmen, that will create a policy if we so desire, and we can create that for one building or all buildings.
The request we had from the Commission on Aging, I went and met with Kathy Wilson out at the senior center. The designated smoking area, the receptacle for the cigarettes and the cigarette butts, is right at the entrance. That's where it was placed. I talked to Joe Burgaw. He has a receptacle. We've already picked a location to move it, and he's going to take down that. Kathy said the only reason she honestly felt people were smoking there is that was the designated smoking area. By moving it off to the side, it's about 35 feet away, and they'll post up a sign there, no smoking area, and then they'll have a sign over there. Not going to put any chairs, just the receptacles. In fact, if you want to see what he's going to put outside, when you walk out today, there's a little lighthouse where the little dome of the lighthouse is the receptacle to put your cigarettes in. But that's the only complaint. I did some checking. No one's had any other complaints in any other town buildings from tobacco or anything. That was the only complaint, and that was because that's where the cigarette receptacles are currently.
I don't know who's the maintainer of building policies and procedures. I know we set them, but I don't know if there's a manual or a book or anything. Roseanne, you're the resident historian here. I know nobody would dare come into, say, this building and smoke.
It's not the problem of coming into the building, it's that
Nearby.
people stand outside and, leisurely smoke, and then people who are entering the building have to walk
Through
through
it.
to smoke. And particularly, I think, at the senior center, which is my ex officio, and I heard the discussion at the meeting, particularly people who frequent the senior center, more so than other buildings, often have breathing difficulties. And so I think that this is a second reason why this is a particular problem there. Sometimes when I enter the building here, I see people out on the sidewalk having a cigarette or so, and then putting it into the receptacle, which is right by the entryway.
The community center also, almost a third reason why it's a concern over there, is it has those overhangs in both the front
Yes.
doors, not just the senior door, but the community center door. And, on a rainy day or a rainy night like tonight was, that's, of course, you're going to seek shelter as you're doing this. So that also becomes a problem. And sunshine, too. Frankly, on a 90-degree day, you're going to
stay in the
want to sit
shade.
in the shade, right? So is it, other comments?
I have, unfortunately, quite a bit of experience with this. Working at a non-smoking facility, we have to provide cigarette butt disposal
Right.
containers out on the public sidewalk to prevent a littering problem, because employees have to discharge their tobacco before they come in. And when it is placed adjacent to the entrance, you do get complaints from other employees who don't smoke who have to come through. If you place it too far away from the entrance, you're gonna get a littering problem, because smokers will not go out of their way 50 to 100 feet for a thing. They'll start dropping it in the parking lot before they go into the building. So getting it out of the immediate walkway is better for other non-smokers who are going into the facility. If you ban tobacco on the property, then you would have a similar problem out at the beginning of the property. So it's 6 one, half dozen other, but if you're gonna not ban the use of tobacco products 100%, you need to locate the disposal container so it's not walking through a cloud of smoke to get into the entrance or exit from a building, but not too far away or it won't be used.
The one area where we had looked at by the community center, by the senior entrance, was, I think, 35 feet. Just a short walk. It'd be right on the little grass area, if you were, say, cutting from the senior center over towards Smith Harris and over towards there. Good location. There's a light pole there, and Joe can put the thing right there.
Is your wish to adopt this prohibition of tobacco use at the East Lyme Community Center?
If we adopted I think Paul made a good point. If we adopted that would entail the entire grounds. So now I'd be concerned they'd be going over by Smith Harris House.
Well, it says 25 feet of the building.
Oh, no, 25 feet of the building, I think, is a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
it going to be just for the one building or for all town buildings?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, would this be a wise precaution, rather than just singling out the community center to make it all town buildings?
And will you have any compliance problems with employees who want to get outside the building and may not go 25 feet away? When it's raining?
Maybe the town garage is where I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that property, if they have a place that has shelter.
Yeah, it's wherever, wherever you have smokers, they're going
I think you wonder the overhang where the gas tanks are.
Right, great. I think it should be all town buildings. I think we should maybe rework
I think
the
so.
sheet and then come back
Okay.
and vote on it and adopt it
Yeah.
at the next meeting. I'll have,
I think so, and then it's consistent. People know this
Yeah.
is a town policy.
I
Yes.
did one in Salem
Consistent
when I was a guy drafted it.
Okay. Yeah, we can take this and kind of adapt it to all town buildings, and it
the
really
s-
doesn't need much.
Schools are treated
Schools
different.
are
They're
different.
tobacco-free.
They're
completely.
tobacco-free.
So
They
this
can-
won't
yeah,
trump
and
that, this will. Yep.
And then if you ask your department heads who are at these other buildings to see if they have a place they can designate 25 feet from the building, just to make sure we're not causing,
Right.
not giving someone the opportunity to comply with the
Right.
laws.
It's kind of standard practice these days too, so it's, but I don't think we'd be grieved
No, I
through a
don't-
union issue or anything. I think this is something that's kind of, it's where we are these days. Okay, great. So we'll rework the language that's coming from us first of all, and that it applies to all town facilities, or town buildings. Now, the Parks and Rec have their own facilities and therefore have their own policies through the Parks and Rec Commission about no smoking on the beaches and all that. And I think I don't want to open up that can of worms. No need to write about that, Kim. So can I go on to the next item?
Sure.
Okay, so the next item, I'm going to belabor things tonight, is the discussion regarding ADA service in town buildings. This is also become an issue in the town hall. We've had multiple dogs in here. There's been those kind of issues. And then there's also issues with dogs using the facilities for the facilities, going to the bathroom. We've had a request from our custodians to stop allowing dogs in this building. And the same for the community center. Now, of course, ADA dogs, service dogs that are recognized as for disabilities, including medical and psychological, and there's another one in here. Physical, mental, and psychiatric disabilities are allowed by law through ADA. Now, there's another breed that you'll see is there's a therapy animal thing. These are the little ones that sit in a pocketbook, and the senior center wishes to kind of do this on a case-by-case basis, but I think that's too broad, and I think, frankly, it's either a no-dog policy or it's allow the dogs. I think we're getting into sticky situations when some dogs are allowed and some dogs aren't, that aren't ADA dogs, but just therapy dogs. And they're not protected by ADA.
I mean, is the senior center, I could see them bringing in service dogs once in a while.
Service
Right.
dogs are protected
I mean,
by
I'm
the
sorry,
ADA.
therapy dogs. I could see that being a need potentially.
It's a subjective call every
But
time.
the problems we're having with the dogs in these buildings, they're not ADA dogs, I assume, because I doubt we're gonna have problems with ADA
Correct.
dogs. Okay.
Correct.
So this is just defining, we're just having people coming in with their dogs.
Right, to pay their taxes, to check on a zoning issue.
Yeah. I would think, you know, there could be a program where a therapy dog is brought in to support the program, but not a personal therapy dog.
No,
For
right.
the purpose of conducting business in town facilities.
Right.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't want to preclude a program that brought a therapy dog in for the purpose of a program, but individual citizens or attendees that in the town buildings, that's going, you know, it's not a protected by law right, and I would not have a problem of eliminating that, but I wouldn't want to eliminate therapy dogs for programs.
Yeah. Okay.
Agree with that.
Thoughts?
I think it's-
It's somewhat controversial. I mean, we just talked about dogs on the boardwalk. Listen, we like dogs, but it's also a workplace, and it's also a work environment, and it's a public building where, you know, the public deserves a comfort of knowing that, you know, they can conduct a professional business and not be stepping in something left in the hall. And literally, that's happening.
And this discussion is consistent with what we
Yes.
supported on the boardwalk, therapy-only dog, I mean, excuse me,
ADA,
ADA-only.
ADA
dogs.
compliant dogs.
Mark,
You
do we
gonna
need
say?
to make the
What?
language a little clearer for
Yeah, I was-
programs
no.
for the therapy animal section?
Yeah, I think we'll rework both of these
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
requests and kind of combine but I definitely want to have that discussion tonight and see where everyone's head
Yeah.
was on this.
Yep.
Okay.
Mrs. Hardy,
Agree.
anything to add?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, you wouldn't dare, right? Smart woman, I should learn from you. Adopt elementary school building ordinance, that's 3C that we added on tonight.
Oh, was this, I'm just going to move to adopt the ordinance entitled Ordinance Establishing a School Building Committee for Alterations and Upgrades to the East Lyme Elementary Schools as submitted.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, off we go. Ex officio reports?
I'll go first. Harbor Management Shellfish meeting this month was not held due to a lack of quorum. And Inland Wetlands Agency had a very lengthy meeting a week ago Monday night, past midnight. Green
What about
Valley
that?
Acres,
yeah,
proposed
that's
subdivision for 25 lots at the south end of the pre-existing, or pre-approved development. Quite a bit of concern, well, not quite a bit, because we ran out of time for public comment. There was an intervener, I think that's the right term, that was
Yes.
published. So that intervener got to make comments. The developer representations got to refute those comments. There was accusations of professional, how can I say this, unprofessional opinions given by both sides.
Dear.
The public was very frustrated that they didn't have time to speak. It went on for quite a while, from about 7:30 until midnight. The meeting has been continued. The special meeting is going to continue next Monday night. We'll reopen the public hearing. We did not get to our agenda items that night due to the public hearing on that project. So it's very controversial for the neighbors. Their concerns is protecting of the environment, of course, and it'll continue next week. So,
Terrific.
So that would be a special meeting on Monday
Yes.
at the regular time?
Let me check and I'll let you know.
I have, Parks and Rec has not met since our last meeting, and so I have nothing to report there.
Okay. Mrs. Hardy?
I don't have an ex officio this evening.
Mr. Salerno.
The building commission will meet tomorrow to go over. They put together an RFQ request for qualifications. They did receive 6 or so responses. Tomorrow they're going to meet at 6 to go over them and to potentially whittle that number down. So that's coming up tomorrow. Question: when is the we passed ordinance tonight? Is that when is it effective?
Upon publication?
So tomorrow it probably. Okay, so tomorrow it will be just a building commission. Thanks for the clarification.
Is it 10 days after publication or upon publication?
Upon publication and is scheduled to be published
Saturday. So I'll just make sure that's clear tomorrow. Meeting.
Okay.
Mrs. Hardy, the meeting Monday is at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
And it will have to adjourn by rules of the town hall at no later than 10:30.
Not midnight?
Not midnight, not 12:30 like last time. We have custodians here until 10:30. Everything past that is emergency overtime, and we shouldn't have town meetings going past that time. So we'll set up other meetings. No one's doing any good work after 10:30 at night after sitting here for 3.5 hours
Yeah,
anyway.
well, I
so.
recommend that all the leads of
Furthermore,
all the commissions who have meetings.
I'm gonna let them know.
at 12:30, it's another day. Anything that's conducted after
That's
12
right.
o'clock is not legal. after
We used to
midnight.
have stuff
There
ourselves.
was an attempt to
Yeah.
complete it by midnight. It was stated that we couldn't go past midnight, but we didn't adjourn until either 12:15 or 12:20.
Yeah, it went on too long, and we're gonna have to. And I'm communicating that to department heads and chairs of commissions, but that was a special case as well. So I'll make sure that they're aware of that. Do we hear all the ex officios?
That's it.
Are you finished?
Okay,
Yeah,
so, you good? Okay. I don't have a lengthy report. I'll remind folks that on July 1st and 2nd, the Lions will be taking over the town hall grounds. We'll be having our Arts and Crafts Festival. We'll be having the Lobster Fest, and we'll be having Mrs. Hardy's junk sale.
No.
Excuse me, it's
Antiques.
quality merchandise.
I bought a nice
Antique
desk
sale.
from there once.
Antique sale.
So it's a flea market-y kind of tag sale over by Mr. Cunningham's office, and we do encourage you to come out and spend lots of money, pay retail, pay 10% plus the tag over the tag.
But
This
it
money
all-
goes to the kids.
All goes to the students for their expenses to go to Washington and Philadelphia for Model Congress.
And we saw earlier tonight the quality of the kids that are going to these things. July 15th is Celebrate East Lyme, which means on July 4th there's no special celebration in our town, no parades, no fireworks. Go to other towns for that, but stick around on July 15th for ours. On the 5th of July, it's business as usual. That will be a Board of Selectmen meeting. I will encourage you to come if you can. We will be having the presentation of the fire study will be made that evening by the folks that put the study together. There'll be a PowerPoint and your ability to ask questions about the fire study. So that's all I have tonight. I've been very busy. Had a COG meeting today, been up to CCM, talking about the state and preparing our town and preparing, as other towns are, what happens if there's no budget on July 1st. And we'll be prepared to do whatever we need to do to carry on the town's business. Any other items? There's no one here for public delegation. No need for selectmen's response.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Adios.